We're going to begin this hour with our series that we call A More Perfect Union, which aims to show that what unites us as Americans is actually far greater than what divides us. You may be surprised we actually have a lot in common. An estimated 41% of military veterans live with mental health issues, from depression and anxiety to sleep disorders and PTSD. Marine veteran Jessica Rambo, what a name, I like that.
Perfect.
Is on a mission. It's perfect, lad, you're right. Is on a mission to help them heal. As Meg Oliver shows us, she's traveled the country on a bus for several years and used art therapy to help vets struggling with their mental health. The 36-year-old woman sees it as a new way to serve her country.
Oh, good girl, come on.
These days, you can find retired Marine and mom Jessica Rambo living in the woods just outside Atlanta.
Sometimes I can't believe how far I've come.
It's her first home with roots, a place she intends to be both a refuge and an art studio for veterans struggling with their mental health.
When you leave the service, there's no transition, there's no detox, there's no how do I become a normal human being again. And it's extremely difficult to get a veteran to open up.
Through art, she says veterans can find a way to release and heal.
What is it about art therapy that helps them?
I think it's just being able to create something or tell a story without communication. They can be alone in their safe place, and it's just another tool in a toolbox. I call it creating your own mental health care package.
Born into a big military family, Jessica always had two loves, her artwork and the armed forces.
Did your mom encourage you to join the military?
Absolutely not.
She wanted anything else?
Anything else, you know, I was an artist, I was creative, but I knew I wanted to do something bigger and greater than myself.
In 2006, she enlisted with the Marines and traveled the world as a combat camera person. But only 4 years into her dream job, Jessica was in a car accident that forced her to retire early. She suffered a traumatic brain injury, internal damage, and became addicted to alcohol and painkillers.
I had a failed marriage. My relationship with my children really was affected. And so I knew that if I was going to save that relationship, I had to end all be all. And one of my children had said something that really affected me, really hit the root that I needed it to hit, and that was it.
What did they say?
Every morning he was missing breakfast, and he said, "Mom, can I please go to school tomorrow? I'm hungry. I have to wait till lunch," and that was unacceptable to me.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah, mine too. Just reliving how that was back then.
All the things that keep tripping you up.
Jessica got sober and rediscovered her other passion. She enrolled in art school, which helped her overcome her own struggles with depression and anxiety.
That really gave me a new path, a new way to serve my community.
That path was the Paint Can Project, a mission to bring ammo cans filled with art supplies to vets across the country.
With the logos for me.
She bought an old school bus, named it the Painted Buffalo, and hit the road.
Thank you, sir.
Why did you call it the Painted Buffalo?
Bison have been used and abused through United States history and then kind of discarded. And the veteran, the same way, we're used and abused for our country, and then some of us feel like we're discarded.
Hi, I'm Jess, and I built this schoolie for my family and I.
The road trip journey started in 2019 with her son Liam, crisscrossing the country. They've hit 38 states and helped hundreds of veterans battling mental health issues.
We're hoping to be able to get the veterans to make some pinch pots.
On this day, we rode in the Painted Buffalo to a nearby art event. The bus she now calls her old home after 4 years on the road.
You're in the living room.
I'm in the living room.
Yep.
And where are you?
I'm in the captain's chair.
At the American Legion Post 245 in Adairsville, Georgia, the room is filled with veterans there for one purpose.
Trying our best to spread veteran awareness and mental health recovery, and our way of doing that is through making and telling stories.
The impact seen almost immediately.
Hard sleeping.
Yeah.
Hard getting in a regular rhythm.
Lamar Wilkie was in the Army for 3 years in Vietnam. The 75-year-old says alcohol used to be his coping mechanism for stress.
Is this helping?
Yes, it helps.
How so?
Keeps your mind on
This keeps your mind occupied.
creative something.
Sean Allen struggles with PTSD. The 46-year-old spent 4 years in Iraq with the Marines. He found Jessica on Instagram and decided to take a chance.
I feel like playing in the mud like a kid again.
Yeah. free your mind a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of nervous just because I'm not used to meeting a whole bunch of people and I don't really get out much. So I'm doing all right though.
If there's a veteran out there watching this who may be struggling with their mental health, what do you want them to know?
Reach out. You know, I was very alone and quiet about what I was dealing with, but as soon as I picked up the phone and called one of my friends, they were like, oh yeah, me too. And instantly I felt better because I knew I wasn't alone. And that's all of us can do that, whether you're a veteran or not.
So important to ask for help. Jessica is now holding workshops for vets in a new studio on her property and continues to have regular events outside Atlanta. And she is truly an inspiration. Look her up on Instagram, the Painted Buffalo. That's how people reach out to her and they find out about her next event.
I'm telling you, Meg, we needed a story like this morning because I so believe that most people are good in this world and in this country. And it's nice to be reminded of people like Jessica. Her last name really is Rambo?
Yeah. Rambo.
That was great. Yeah. Thank you, Jessica Rambo. Thank you.
It is terrible, though, for veterans to feel, as she said, that they are sometimes
Discarded.
used and abused. I mean,
And
we ask so
discarded.
much of them, and
Right.
for them to come home. I'm struck by how some of these individuals, they look so different now than what they did when they were in the spring of their youth, when they were fighting for our country.
Yeah, and I applaud Sean Allen for talking to us. But the good news is that the Department of Veterans Affairs says 90% of veterans have now reached out for mental health services. It's increased 90%, so it's pretty good.
That's important.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's important. Meg, awesome. Thank you very much.